there are situations in a fallen, imperfect world in which you have to choose between, regrettably, choose, because you don't have the option of maintaining both. And then if it's a matter of the life of the mother or the life of the child, I would always choose the life of the mother. But in good Jewish tradition, you would grieve over the fact that you'd have to. Just like if you separate Siamese twins and you realize one of them is going to die, you wouldn't keep them together, you'd separate, and you realize, tragically, one of them has to die.
And why would you choose the mother?
I would choose her because she already is in a series of relationships. The child has a relationship with the parents, but it's not of the same filled out content as the life of the mother to her husband and possibly other children, to her parents, sisters, In other words, yeah, I think in the realization, happily the Bible tells me we don't live in a perfect world. This isn't anymore the way that God wanted it to be. And therefore, there are situations in which you have to make very painful decisions. And the Jewish tradition has prayers of repentance for that. In fact, the Orthodox Jews have prayers for the abattoir every time you kill an animal. You grieve over the fact that human beings need to eat food. And so you say a prayer. I think that mentality should be there. This is unhappily a situation in which I have to make a very difficult but necessary, and in this case, somewhat obvious choice. So yes, I would do that.
Are there any other circumstances in which abortion would be defendable in your view? In other words, there are so many thousands of American women who are having abortions permitted by Roe v. Wade for many other reasons, many of them much more casual reasons and maybe morally undefensible reasons, other than their own life. Just their convenience or their inconvenience.
That's right, and that's really, I don't quite know what adjective to use here. This is rather sad, sick, tragic that people would feel so casually about this marvelous phenomenon of being able to produce a human being with eternal significance. And you're right, I mean, any kind of casual approach, this is inconvenient, I already have 3 children, etc., I need my youth, or whatever, are not reasons for an abortion. The question of rape is one that I'm not, I don't have a black and white answer to. We made a film a number of years ago that I worked with for a little while, Francis Schaeffer did, called Whatever Happened to the Human Race, in which he discusses the question, whatever happened to the human race in light of the abortion practice, infanticide, euthanasia for old people. What have we abandoned in our understanding of the human race? And there is a black gynecologist woman speaking in that, and she says as a woman she would not abort even in case of rape because she would not want to sacrifice her biological capability of conceiving a human being only because she was raped. Now, as a man, I don't know, but as a woman I admire that she said that. But that would be a difficult situation. But I couldn't go along with the proposition that was just happily, I think, rejected down in Mississippi, that anything conceived by any way needs to be kept alive. The Roman Catholic traditional position, Roman Catholicism, was that you save the baby, you don't save the mother, because the baby hadn't been baptized yet. The mother already was baptized. And the baby wouldn't get to heaven unless it was baptized, and it wouldn't be baptized unless it was saved. And so you can sacrifice the mother because she was...
Elizabeth was born.
Yeah, Elizabeth was born. Therefore you sacrifice the mother because she's already baptized. I don't share that view because I don't think baptism is that decisive. I think God is a gracious God whose desire is that no one will be lost, and he'll take care of little babies. In fact, he takes care of a lot of people. So that would be my answer. No, it's not a, it's not a, my basic argument is, is scientific. This is a human being. What gets added after conception is nutrients, not genetic information.
Well, and you always, from your legal studies, you mentioned it just in passing about.
Yeah, the fact that, the unborn child can be an heir to a fortune, but not to a right to life, to me is a legal complication that isn't sufficiently addressed, published. I don't know.
So you're saying in summary that liberalized abortion under Roe v. Wade is almost always wrong, except in the case of possibly the life of the mother or
Yeah.
Almost all other reasons are more.
Yeah, yes, I think so. But now, having said that, a woman's pregnancy ought to be celebrated rather than rejected. If it's hard for the woman to find the cause for celebration, what are we doing to have her enjoy the fact that she is pregnant? With what help do we come to assist her in this momentous wonder that another human being is conceived that will have a life? Do I make your life easier? Do I make the life of the pregnant mother easier? All that, it seems to me, is part of the view. It's not a cold scientific medical view. It's I've always felt this when a teenager gets pregnant, and rather than scolding, punishing, it's too late for that. Point out with wonder and admiration that you have a human being, and I will try to make that possible for you. And the most most wonderful experience you can have. What can I do? Make it easier for you rather than more difficult. You already have the difficulties of a disappointed whatever. You didn't plan it, you had other ideas, etc., which are now much more difficult. But rather than standing in the way, why does the community not make it easier for that young girl to carry that child? And we've had people in our outlying family where this has happened, and where the then grandparents took care of both the daughter and her child until the child was 2, 3, and the daughter could move out, get a job, and so forth. Well, it rearranges, it messes up, in quotation marks, everybody's life, and so it should. This is another human being. Make space, time, give love, Seems to me that ought to be part of the conversation as well.